So you didn't think that a practice squad mock would be coming out, but ooh, we need this. America, we need this. Beyond all these 75,000 mock drafts, I mean, hell, we did a mock schedule. That's how we roll. So here's a look at our projection of what the 16-man practice squad is going to look like for the Vikings tomorrow. So teams can start assembling their practice squads tomorrow at 3 p.m. Central Time. It's basically after all the non-vested veterans go through waivers, so everyone's got a crack at them. So this is the Vikings mock practice squad. So rule changes for this year, 2020. So initially with the new CBA, it was 12 players on the practice squad, 2 with unlimited experience, but with the Rona and whatnot. So they upped that to 16 players on the practice squad as opposed to 10 last season. And now 6 players total can have more than 4 years of NFL experience. But that doesn't really apply here since the only one who would count would be Brett Jones. But so here's our projection for the Vikings practice squad. So the roster 2 quarterbacks, Cousins and Mannion. I do believe that they'll keep Browning and Stanley in the fold because not out of the woods yet with the COVID. So I think keeping 4 quarterbacks in the sphere with the expanded practice squad is really smart, as well as nose tackle David Moa. The Vikings don't really have a true nose tackle on the roster, TBD if that actually changes, but Moa has impressed the UDFA out of Boise State. I think that he does have a shot to stick on the practice squad. So the tight ends, Brandon Dillon, really impressed last year, was initially on the 53. I think he and Nakia Griffin-Stewart is a pretty near-run thing. I think one of them makes a practice squad. I give the nod to Dillon right now just because of his experience level. Center Jake Lucina, the pride of Augustana, a former Remington Award Trophy winner. Best center in D2. I think that he's done just enough to stick on the practice squad. Vikings, do need some interior offensive lineman help, as you'll see that they kept 4 offensive linemen on the practice squad in our projection, including 3 interior guys. Another interior guy, 7th rounder Kyle Hinton. Now, they love his physicality. They love his speed. They love his strength. I think that they were very sly in their usage of him. He never got above running with the threes, even though he does have the potential to do that because they did want to slide him down the practice squad. So Kyle Hinton making the squad there. 2 safeties on it. Well, 1 safety. Sorry. So Stephen Parker, the waiver claim from Miami, who it really is shocking that the Vikings only kept 2 safeties, but also if they didn't have faith necessarily in Parker or Metters or the draft picks, Josh Metellus or Brian Cole II, does make sense, but he stays on the practice squad, has a chance to redeem himself. Wide receiver Alexander Hollins, who a lot of people thought was going to make the roster, especially given how studly he was in training camp. I think that he might not make it through waivers, given the press that he had, as well as the solid opportunity that he had last season during the regular season. So I think that Hollins may get sniped by a wide receiver needy team. You look at the Niners, you look at the Raiders, so TBD there. If he doesn't make it, maybe cornerback safety Nate Metters makes it on. Linebacker Blake Lynch, UDFA out of Baylor, he makes it onto the practice squad. Now, I thought that he potentially could make the 53. They decided to roll with the veteran Hardy Nickerson Jr., so sort of makes sense there. Also on the practice squad, Vanda Collins back again. The 4th-year man, former 2017 UDFA at TCU, was in the running to start. Then he wasn't, so now he's on the practice squad again. Also on the practice squad, fellow offensive lineman Blake Randall, 6th-round pick out of Oregon State. Now, I conspiracy theory-wise, just like with Hinton, I actually think that Randall came out of the gates. He was looking really, really good, and now they started to depress his use with the 2s. So just to try and get him onto the practice squad. So pretty sly there. I do like the futures of Blake Randall as well as Kyle Hinton for sure. Also on the offensive line. Oh, sorry, they kept 5 offensive linemen. Wait, no, 4. I'm really good at 5. I'm really good at counting. So Brett Jones. You can make a case that maybe they won't keep 5 offensive linemen on the practice squad, but I think given the makeup and dynamics of the team, it does make a ton of sense, especially if they do somehow carry 11 defensive linemen, which I don't see, but nah. But veteran Brett Jones. Now, Brett Jones could be a candidate to sit out a week and come back just like he did last year, so his salary's not guaranteed. But yeah, I think Brett Jones is too valuable of a reserve piece to let float into the ether. Last 2 spots. Quarterback Neville Clark, the UDFA out of Central Florida. I think he made a really good case to make the roster over Harrison Ham, but they decided to go with the 5th-round draft pick, as well as UDFA wide receiver Courtney Davis makes it on the practice squad. Yeah, had a thin shot at making the 53, but I think practice squad is perfectly fine. Now, I say the final two because the Vikings, in all likelihood, they've done this pretty much every single year, will add a name to the practice squad that didn't make the 53, wasn't in training camp with them after they see who has been cut from other teams. And leaving this roster spot open, it's fine. As well as, so the dirty little secret about the practice squad is when it was 10, it was really 11, because what teams would do is they would cut one guy and they would sign another guy. And then the next week they would bring back the guy that they cut, and then they would cut the guy that they signed. And so basically you have this rotating door of practice squad players. So basically there will be 17 or 18 guys in the practice squad sphere this year. And there's a bit of an unwritten rule where GMs generally don't poach some of the practice squad guys, as well as, there is a rotating, you can protect 4 practice squad guys every single week, which is kind of great, as well as 2 guys on the practice squad per week can be added to the 53-man roster, essentially making a 55-man roster, and then after the game, they revert down to the practice squad. No harm, no foul, no waivers. Now, players can only do that twice per year, but keep that in mind when you look at guys like Brett Jones, look at guys like Neville Clark, you look at guys like Alexander Hollins, that could be their path to actually getting some time this year, even though they're technically on the practice squad. But that is it. That is our initial mock draft 1.0. It's probably only 0.0, but you know. All right, so your thoughts. What's the Vikings practice squad going to look like? Let us know in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support that work? Pull us on the Venmo. But until next time, Skull, production value.